And
Community.
you have two choices
Did you
on the
sign
internet
up?
right now.
Yeah.
Porn or
You
the
must
community.
have clicked on-
You chose
You've
wrong.
chosen the community porn site.
Yeah!
Oh.
Community.
They can see you guys now, by the way.
I know, but
Oh.
that's why
I'm
it's
here.
Danny
fun.
Pudi showing
Okay.
some legs.
Yeah.
So
well, Jim has no socks on.
Sexy.
So look at that skin.
Ooh, me neither. Ankle.
all right,
I have
guys.
calf skin to show. Sorry.
We'll do this officially now. Hey guys, I'm Mike Schneider from TV Guide magazine, and I'm here with really the 3 stars of Community. Let's be honest. So
Just us.
exactly. So Danny Pudi,
Hi guys.
great to see you. By the way, do you guys ever Google yourselves? Do you ever go on Google and see what they're saying about you?
I go on Google,
Yeah.
but I don't Google myself.
Yes, I don't Google myself.
Not
Because
anymore.
Danny Pudi, I Googled your name.
Oh no, what came up?
Came up Twitter, Danny Pudi Twitter, which is
Okay.
okay. Danny Pudi net worth. Apparently someone thinks you've
They
got
gotta
some,
know.
yeah.
They have to know.
Yeah.
And Danny Pudi interview. So they want to hear what you have to say.
Oh.
It's pretty sweet.
That's pretty good.
What
If-
were mine?
Alison
Yeah.
Brie,
Okay.
of course, who plays Annie Edison on Community. So Alison Brie GIF or GIF. They want some
Well,
hot photos.
yeah.
So this one's a little disturbing. Alison Brie feet.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I mean.
And finally, you just blew up the internet. You just destroyed the internet. NBC.com is
Give
down
them what they
now.
want.
Give them what they want.
And Alison Brie Instagram.
Oh, I don't have an Instagram. It should be noted.
So they're disappointed when
So
they
when they
tweet.
Google
Sorry.
it, they're like,
Oh.
no.
And finally,
Fact.
This went nowhere.
Jim Rash, of
Feet.
course, Dean Pelton.
Jim Rash feet?
No Jim Rash feet. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh.
Jim Rash sockless, maybe.
Yeah.
But Jim Rash, IMDb. So they respect your art. They
Lots of credits.
respect your work. Jim
Yeah,
Rash,
IMDb.
Oscar,
Yeah.
Oh.
Does he have
Oscar
an
winner,
IMDb?
Jim Rash,
His IMDb.
and of course Jim Rash Twitter as well.
Okay.
So
Oh.
you have an
They just
active
want to
Twitter
see
page.
what's going
So-
on.
Why don't people want to see our feet, Jim?
Yeah.
I don't
What's
know.
up?
No.
So guys, we're midway through season 5, hashtag season 5, and Google Hangout. So pretty close to what people are talking about.
Mhm.
So halfway through, we've obviously already seen the disappearance of Troy, and you know, Danny, obviously that hits Abed the hardest. You know, what's that been like for the character, and also for all you guys on the show? You know, describe what it was like to have Donald Glover depart.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, we knew right away that it was going to be a challenge, but I think Chris and Dan right away were like, we're going to just address it in 5 episodes and deal with it. And I think that was kind of the beauty of it, that we weren't really caught off guard. We knew this was coming. We shot out of order. We shot the finale a week before we actually said goodbye to Donald, so we had a chance to practice our real goodbye.
Yeah. And then you came back the next week, and you're like, you're here.
Yeah, you still here?
Yeah, see you later.
We get it.
And we got to process even, we
Yeah.
knew that he was leaving coming into shooting the season, so I think there was that process was happening even before we started shooting season 5. And so then it was, I think, I get more interested in how are the writers going to make this work, and of course they do it in an amazing way. We had the amazing Hot Lava episode.
Hot Lava, yeah.
And then we've had all these other characters coming in that's just been this new set of people to play with, which has really been fun, really different and cool for the 5th season to kind of change it up. And
Well, and both of you guys have had great episodes with Jonathan Banks.
Yeah.
Jonathan
So-
Banks is amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And totally, like we said, different energy. And I think that's been the nice thing, is that we knew you can't replace Donald, so what do we do? And we're not replacing. We're just going with different actors and trying to figure out what else we could learn about our characters. And I think that's what you saw like in last week's episode, is that you get to see another side of Abed with a character who doesn't really understand or want to understand Abed.
Yeah.
So it's been fun to try new things with characters and explore new facets of our characters.
And you were telling us earlier, actually, that was a painful episode for you to shoot as well.
Yes. So I broke my nose this year. I was trail running, and I landed on my face. Thank you. And I had 40 stitches, and that was the episode, last week's episode, where it actually happened in the middle of the episode. So I had to show up on set, show people my nose, and everyone was like, "Oh, so did you decide to get a nose job?" And I think I got a lot of people ask me if I got a nose job, which leads me to believe that you guys want me to get a nose job.
No.
No, I think it was a huge inconvenience for a lot of us, I think.
Yeah.
I get it.
It was
get it.
more time in
Notice.
him
I
and
was
makeup
put out,
chair.
yeah,
It
yeah.
felt very selfish to go
Yeah.
on a run
And you
to
know what?
run
I wanna-
into a chain link.
Let me use this as an opportunity to apologize, guys.
You should.
Thank you.
Let me use this and to all the people on Google too.
Thank you.
I apologize for inconveniencing
Yeah.
you. I know
It's weird because I asked for this apology the week that it happened
Yeah.
because I felt inconvenienced. And
I
the
did
fact
have
that
to use the word
the fact that you're
inconvenience,
doing
too.
it now. I mean, some of
On-
my anger has.
This is
sort of-
official
Yeah.
on a Google Hangout.
So I
Yeah.
apologize, Jim. And
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you.
It's okay.
I know it was
I
hard.
had a lot of things to do
Yeah,
that
it was
week.
really hard for us.
Well, hey,
So it was a tough episode, but
For all of us.
Yeah.
I think it
For
worked
all of
out
us.
in the end.
so the fans who came on the site not looking for Alison Brie's feet, thank you, by the way.
Thank
you
you.
succeeded.
Thank
you.
But they've got some questions for you, kids.
Oh.
So
Oh.
let's start off with Amanda Baldwin, who asked, quite frankly, so 6 seasons in a movie has been the hashtag for a long time. Is it now going to be a reality? Is this just
Yes!
the plan?
Yes. I mean, we
NBC?
let's just put it up. I feel like
I'm manifesting
I feel like we are single-handedly proving the vision board idea. People might
We
poo-poo
are.
it, but clearly, if you put it up on something or
Yeah.
say it enough, it will become a reality.
Mhm.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, we would love that to be. It's almost like it's the perfect invitation to adequately bring this whole thing to a close. You know, so we can just say yes, it should happen.
Why
We'll just
stop?
keep putting it out there.
Why stop at 6 seasons in a movie, though?
But see, then.
Yep, see?
It's out here.
Oh,
Stick with
man,
the vision
now you're
board,
doing-
guys.
Yep, you got to
Yeah.
stick with the
We're
thing.
messing with the plan.
You got to, yeah. So I think our fans have, stuck to that so truly, and they're the ones that keep getting us on the air and all that, and it just would feel right if it were possible.
You obviously want to be with these people as long as possible, but there's also something about knowing that you can really complete a story.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that the pressure of whether you're going to be on for this many seasons or that many seasons, just the luxury of knowing that the time you spent telling the story of Community could have this sort of very special way of ending if possible, and that's a huge gift.
Yeah.
And you remember that show as being that perfect,
it could
entity.
be a huge GIF,
Mhm.
and then we'll do
Now that's not saying there won't be
Do-do-do.
spin-offs.
Do-do-do.
You know, we've already decided the three of us are going to become a detective agency. So those are the type of
already
things,
decided.
What's it called? What's the title?
the Brie and her
Searching for
we're
Brie's
going to use
feet?
her actual
No.
last name called Brie and the Boys.
Brie the boy.
Oh, we play our
Bree's
same
feet-
characters
just-
on Community,
Yeah.
but it's called Brie and the Boys.
No,
It
guys.
picks up it's
Welcome
last,
to our first meeting of our new show.
So
We've
just
already developed it.
brainstorming.
The last day of shooting, we pick up there, we leave the last table read, and we become our real people. So we're now playing ourselves.
I like this.
And then
Brie
we
and the
stumble
Boys.
upon
Brie and the Boys.
a body, and we have to figure out why this dead body is in the middle of the Paramount
On the
stage.
Paramount
We
lot.
cannot call the police.
No.
We have
This
to
is our
figure it
job. It's
out.
our duty.
Mhm.
And we have 48 hours to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we already know it's hashtag 22 seasons in a movie. So we're going to do 22
Yeah.
seasons in a movie.
Vision
Brie
board,
and
But there's
guys.
only going to be like 3 episodes a season. So
Yeah.
it's a real
Yeah,
quick
it's a
Very-
turnaround. Yeah.
Very British of you.
Yeah.
So, Brie and the Boys.
Brie
I
and the
like it.
Bring the boys.
I like it. Emily W. asks, was there a particular scene or episode you couldn't stop laughing during? So, I know Ken Jeong's sort of famous for being the guy who
Ken
cannot
can never
stop.
stop laughing.
And there's been.
How about you guys?
But these two are just as bad.
Yeah.
Ah, come on.
Yes, both of you together are bad.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, okay. But
Most scenes, I think. But
it's like if we catch each other's eye across the study room table, then it's over.
it's over.
If we just kind of ignore each other,
Then it's not
then we
over.
can make it through.
Yes. I think eventually, also, like, I feel like there's sort of, by the end of the week, we get a little bit more tired and you get a little bit more giddy. And so Thursdays and Fridays, I think there
You're
tends
like-
to be a little bit more of like, oh!
On the worst days,
Yeah.
it's like always going to be the latest night that's when we're like, I can't keep it
I
together,
can't
and everyone's like, can we just make it through this?
And then half that time, Alice and I are trying to figure out a new high five to put
Trying
into the
to work in
episode
a good
unnecessarily.
handshake.
And
or
that,
a good bit to show someone.
yeah. So,
So
So what's a scene where we were
yeah, give us an example.
let's see here. I'm trying to think this year. I mean,
I'm bringing it back to the question.
Well, I remember when
we
Ken
laugh a little bit.
does.
I'm trying to
Yes,
You
but
guys.
we were so stressed.
Yeah.
I know.
But I mean, I remember one day we were. I mean, the one specific one I remember actually wasn't this season. It was for Ken
with Malcolm Jamal Warner.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
That
We were
was
doing the baby
It's
shower
epic.
scene,
at the baby
and
shower.
3rd season.
We had just
Yeah.
shot
I think.
well into the early morning what was
Mhm.
ending conspiracy theories, And we came in the next day to start. Well, not the
Yes.
next day, but you know, like that Monday, we came in, and I'd lost my voice, and we
We
were
were
doing
like-
the cold opening where Shirley's having her baby shower.
And you eat the
Yeah.
like.
Yes, and so my voice was barely there. I was like, yeah, you know, it was terrible. But that was one where
Yeah.
he could not
He
say
could not.
something.
He.
He would go.
Oh, but he couldn't finish that
But
song.
what was the joke? There was a joke that came after it, and he couldn't get through it. And every time he would, no, and then just crack up, and then
Yeah.
just keep it together, keep it together.
Keep it together. And then he would like, it was.
He would say horrible.
He would say
things.
He'd have
horrible
say
things
horrible
to try to be
things
serious.
To try to be serious.
But it just progressed, and I think in the end everyone was just like, okay, we're gonna move on, and everyone was like, did we get it? Nah, we don't know. We don't know if we
don't
did.
know.
I know this year actually, I remember one episode where I couldn't stop laughing when I was wheeling Donald
Yes, that's it.
into the press
Yes.
into the press room in
Because-
Ass Crack Bandit because
And
there's
Donald
the
would
whole
stand up.
Donald would stand up and slap Starburns across the face because he had been, I guess the quarter. What do we call it?
Ass crack
The
bandit.
bandit.
But the bandit had put a quarter in his butt. So I had to wheel him in, but the whole time we're waiting to this one for this one moment to come in while you're running a press conference of like nonsensical questions. And I think it was our cue was when it was the Spanish newspaper, and then I think your line was like, when did we split those two
Or
newspapers?
something like that. Well, that was before.
Gazette.
Yes.
Oh,
The Gazette in the Mirror.
Yes.
Yeah, the Gazette in the Mirror. Okay, so we come in, and I could not stop laughing because to me it was the funniest. Our whole job was to come in, Donald to shakily get out of a wheelchair,
Yes.
and slap Dino. But Dino, every take, kept telling Donald, slap me harder. He really, really enjoyed being slapped, and not like
I'm shocked.
it wasn't like I don't think it was a character thing. I think it was truly
It's a personal
Dino
thing.
Yeah.
being like it's okay, Donald, just get me, just really get me. And Donald was like, okay, and like he would crack him, and it was so loud, and Dino was like, okay, that was good. Next time, even go for it.
Yeah.
So it was freaking me out on many levels because I knew coming
the
in.
anticipation outside. You're like,
I could kind of see Starburns / Dino leaning in a little bit, like waiting for the slap. So if you see me, I think in that scene I have my head buried down as I'm
Well, it's
wheeling him
also
in.
that because after that, the whole room has been told to do a collective gasp.
Oh,
which is so stupid here. Like, and it was hard to gasp and not laugh.
Like we all knew. Like
Like
a
in our
room
room,
quiets
where we
down.
all collectively
Everyone
gasped
quiets
when someone
down and
gets
gasps.
slapped. Anyway,
That was a moment.
That was
That's a good one.
in other
yeah.
words, we just answered your question in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
There you go.
We got there, guys. We got there. That was an
We're just
example.
Google hanging. Speaking of the Ass Crack Bandit, Zaid, apparently it's his real name, Zaid asks, will we find out who the Ass Crack Bandit is by the end of the season?
Oh. Ooh.
I don't know.
Maybe
Will
I don't know. Will we
Yeah.
Zaid?
And that Zayd's like,
If-
no, that's why I
Right,
asked.
That's my
asking.
question.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't
Well,
know.
we'll have to find
I
out.
don't know. We'll see.
have to wait and see.
Guys are still good with the spoilers.
Hey, our 800 fans
Yeah.
will be very happy we didn't give anything away today.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, a question for Jim from Cat M.
Oh.
So much of Community is about how the characters grow as people, including the Dean. Although that's questionable, whether
Yeah.
or not he's actually grown as a person. But what kind of personal growth would you like Dean Pelton to experience going forward?
That's a good question. Yes, I do think this season has been particularly about the growth of these characters. I mean, for me, I always cheer for the Dean to have some kind of real success. I'm not saying that's ever happened or will ever happen, but because he puts sort of pushes himself into failure constantly. But there is something about it'd be fun to see what it would feel like for him to really have that victory, but also to see what these people mean. We know what they mean to him, but to sort of see the impact of the loss of these, which would come down the road maybe as a closing chapter.
Well, you've said before that so far there haven't been a lot of consequences. That the Dean is still able to kind of.
He's still got a job,
Yeah.
so clearly there's no real. It's still there.
Emily W. asks, was there a particular... no, I'm sorry, Matt C. Let's move on to Matt C.
Sorry, Emily W.
Sorry.
Sorry, Emily W. We already asked your question. What were your first impressions of the script when you guys first got on the show? And the show, when you were first hired, and have they changed it all since then?
From the very beginning?
From the very beginning.
I remember very clearly, I've told this story before, I think, where as soon as I read the script, I was very nervous because my agent sent it and had said, here's your dream show. And he never said anything about this. He rarely says anything, right? And so I read it, and I was like, okay. And then as soon as I read it, I read it straight through, and I was trembling because I was so scared because I experienced a number of feelings. But the first feeling was fear because I was like, this truly is a show that I love. I could see it. I believe in it. And then it was also like sadness, immediate sadness, because I was already like, I'm not going to get this role.
Because you always know you're never, when someone's like, this is my dream job, or I'm perfect for this.
I know. And
you're
so,
like,
right away I was like, I
This
hate
is before
it.
you got your nose done.
This is before my nose job, though. So, pre-nose job.
Yeah.
And so PNJ. And so I was scared, sad, and then like just really, really excited to find out more. And I didn't really know much about Dan or a Channel 101 or any of that kind of any of his background with Sarah Silverman's show. And so I just started kind of researching all that, and I just got really excited then. So, but I remember it right away. I thought it was really funny. I thought it was interesting, different, and I was then convinced that I wouldn't be in the show, which saddened me because it was a show that I knew I would watch right away.
I remember I was very struck by how smart the show was. I read it, you read so many pilots and comedies, and they're all different kinds. And I remember reading this and just feeling like there were so many jokes packed into it. I knew that Joel was doing it and Chevy was doing it by the time I got it. And I had watched The Soup, and to kind of read it with them in mind as well, I think is always helpful and kind of in their voice. And I just remember thinking, it's smart. It's not like I maybe had just been going out for a lot of sort of dumb-seeming comedies, none of which were made. So it felt very refreshing that I was like, this is like something I would want to watch.
Yeah, Jim?
Well, mine was a little bit different because they were already shooting when I came.
That's
in.
right.
So I actually auditioned. What's the college? Where did you shoot the pilot? It was not. It was in Valley.
Pierce College?
No, it was LA Community College, right?
No,
It was
the pilot.
It
was Pierce
we were in the
College.
Valley. Yes,
It was
Pierce College. And so I went
Pierce.
over there, and it was during break. So it was like Dan, whoever was in the room. So and I was auditioning for a part that was, possible recurring guest star. So you just that could mean anything. That could mean hopefully it gets picked up and maybe you'll be back. But at that time it was so I guess it was a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, because I know part of the question was like, has it changed?
Yeah.
And yes and no. I mean, obviously the show, what it was when we made the very first pilot, has evolved into something much different and wackier and idiosyncratic to us and to our writers, and it's found its own voice in a way that's very different from the pilot, because the pilot was great, but I think our pilot was our most accessible episode. It's like you're pitching a show and you want people to buy it, and then we could just get farther and farther away from that. So
I think we wouldn't have ever predicted we were going to be going and playing paintball.
Right.
When we had read that first script. But I think that's been the nice thing about the show is, and I think that's something that has stayed consistent for me, is I'm very excited about reading each script because I don't know where it's going to go.
And they're still very smart and they're still very funny, and we're packing the jokes in, and that hasn't changed. But it's very unexpected these days.
There was the gas leak season.
There was the gas leak year, and we don't need to talk about that.
Don't need to talk about it. You're tired of talking about it. But we've moved along nicely, and let's talk to Rodrigo M. now. He asks, do you think we'd get more Inspector Space Time in the future?
I don't know that we will.
You think you guys have exhausted Inspector Space Time?
I think that last year we may have exhausted.
We may have. We went into that world.
We
did it.
We went in
pulled
deep.
some themes. We explored
Went
those
in
themes.
deep. People may have gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, gas leak.
Gas leak.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rodrigo.
Let's thank you, Rodrigo M. Let's talk about some.
Not you, all the other Rodrigos watching.
Exactly. Specifically M.
How many Rodrigos are watching? Raise your hand if you're a Rodrigo.
Among
10.
the 800.
10?
And how many of your last initials are M? Maybe there's more than one.
There could be a couple. So they're all feeling pretty good about themselves right about now. Well, let's talk about another big episode coming up, the animated episode. What can you share about that?
Well.
Oh, well.
By the way, Amy B. Let's address Amy B.
Is that you?
Amy B.
Thank you, Amy B.
Oh.
So, animated episode.
Well, it's based on. It's done in the style of.
An 80s sort of like.
I think that.
Jim, you should say it.
It's based on.
It's been out there.
It's based on. Well, it's based on the G.I. Joe cartoon. of the 80s.
A real American hero.
Real American
Yeah.
hero.
G.I. Joe's there.
We did
like
shoot.
Greendale.
We
shot some live action stuff that sort
Did
of
we?
bookends.
We did.
Yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Alison, are you on Community?
I don't know.
It sort of bookends what will become this animated episode. And so that's really all we have.
Yeah.
That's a big spoiler.
But and
for
we've
G.I.
seen
Joe.
we've seen pictures of our characters.
That's right.
Yes.
And mine's pretty hot.
Yeah.
All the women are hot.
Yeah.
I'll say there's a lot of bursting muscles.
How are the feet on this animated character?
Oof.
Great.
They are
They
hot.
are fantastic.
They are
Yeah.
Googleable.
Google that. GIF that. G.I. Joe feet GIF.
Jip that.
GIF that. You can't GIF that with a bat. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I
Why?
hope all the things you just said become sayings.
I think GIF that
GIF
is
that.
on its
GIF
GIF
way.
that.
with the bat.
Hashtag
GIF
GIF that. Laura Van R, you're up next. She wants to know, do you guys always understand the pop culture references the show makes? Or
No.
are there some you just didn't get at first? Is there anything that just went right over your head when you first either read it or
Oh,
said
yeah.
it?
Most of them, well, I'll take it. Let's cut to a rehearsal of a scene we're going to shoot on Monday morning. And we show up in the study room. Hey, Allison.
Do you get
What?
one?
I don't know. Oh, you got one too? I don't know that one.
Like, wait, on page
Okay.
5.
Action? Okay. Yeah, so this is Logan's Run.
The funny thing is, I think that usually we circulate the cast members
Yep.
first because we're too
Yeah.
embarrassed to ask the writers
Yeah.
when we don't know. So I always go to you first, absolutely, and then I do think I go to you second because I'm like, well, Jim would. I'm like, Danny,
Yeah.
I'm the least embarrassed to ask first of all.
I'm the second
But if he
least.
doesn't know, then I'm like, well, Jim
Second
will
least.
probably
Yeah.
know.
Maybe.
Well, Jim will
Yeah.
have Googled it.
I
won't
before,
know,
right?
but it'll be a
Jim
chance
will
for Allison
know.
to practice her question.
And then I'll ask the one that would know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we frequently don't.
We don't always know, but a lot of
Yeah.
them we know.
Yeah.
We don't not know any of them.
Come on, guys.
Was there anything in particular that you were like, oh, that's what that is? Besides Logan's Run.
No, we knew Logan's
We know-
Run.
yeah,
I feel like it's always like a one.
It's a
one line
Yeah.
thing where we're like, do you know what that
Yeah.
is? It's never like a full concept of it.
Sometimes it'll be also a callback to something that we might have just forgotten. You know.
Or I feel like it's a good opportunity for learning because there have been times like when
The more you know.
Yeah.
But truly, I had not seen My Dinner with Andre before
Right.
we did the My Dinner with Andre episode. So, and I feel like, and I watched it the way it was meant to be watched in 8-minute segments
YouTube.
on YouTube while we were shooting the episode. In the hair and makeup trailer, the only place we get Wi-Fi.
Little did they know when they were making My Dinner with Andre that it would be consumed in
8 minutes
8-minute
at a
chunks
time.
on YouTube.
12 different videos
Yeah.
at a time.
A lot of times too, like Chris and Dan will text us stuff and be like, hey, for the Nicolas
Just
Cage
so you
episode,
know.
just so you know that we have this storyline coming up, and they'll maybe send us a link to some things to take a look at, so that way we're not completely going into a table read being like, what, you know?
Like, remember when Yvette had to do a Cajun accent in one thing and be like, I guarantee it, and we were all like, I still don't know what that's from. Chris McKenna's in the room.
He's in the room right now.
What was that from?
What was it
Was
from?
it Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Was it a Van Damme thing?
No, it's that.
Jean-Claude Van Damme
No,
from
no.
his early Cajun films?
No.
Yeah,
No, that's a chef.
It was like a Cajun.
Emerald?
No.
That's that Cajun chef, not Emerald though. It's that other.
No,
No,
it's
it's
from
a
a
Cajun
movie.
cook.
It was from
The
a
Cajun-
movie,
But
you
there is a
guys.
Cajun
Yeah,
cook
I
who
on PBS.
on PBS who would say, I guarantee.
See, Jim
But
Rash
that's
Googled
not
it.
what it was.
But you keep arguing, and I don't understand why you're arguing this. We're giving you one possibility.
And
Yeah.
that's not what it was.
This is why Allison goes to me
No
first.
other suggestion.
And then to Jim
It was a movie. I know it. And I'm pretty sure Jean-Claude Van Damme was in it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I just want to see the Cajun chef with Van Damme. That's what I want to see, personally,
on a
out of
truck.
all this. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Riding a truck.
Oh.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Awesome was that. Emmy L wants to know, what's your favorite long-running joke, favorite Easter egg on the show? What's something maybe they haven't answered yet that
Oh my God.
you're still waiting for McKenna and Harmon to explain to you what's going on?
Let's see. What did I like? I like the Pop Discovery this year. Was that this year?
What,
Yeah.
that
No,
magazine
last year.
that he's British?
You
no,
mean-
that was last year. Okay. What else? I don't know. This is
I don't
hard.
know.
I'm
Well, I was
going-
thinking, when you said what are our favorite running jokes, I was thinking, what are our favorite things that we like?
that we do.
Because that we still like make jokes about
Personal
on
stuff.
set.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Well,
I
give
feel
us
like
one.
we get very connected. It's a funny thing because we get very connected to lines
Yes.
that we say in an episode when we're shooting it, and we think they're hilarious, and years later we're still saying them, and some of them are like didn't even make it in the episode, like don't eat the crab dip.
What?
What? Yeah.
Did that not make it in?
No,
No.
the one that we know was don't eat the crab dip. What? And I
Yeah.
think we even have shirts or sweatshirts
Yes.
that say don't eat the crab dip, and on the back they're like, what? Because
Yeah.
that's the one we all loved. And in the episode he goes, don't eat the crab dip. Yay, yay.
Yeah.
And we were all like,
Wait a minute. That, you
But-
didn't know that one.
We're misquoting
When-
that one thing.
when?
That was scary. Yeah.
Yeah. When did they get that take? So I feel like there's a lot of things like that that have over
I
the
control
years.
your lives.
Oh, we love that.
Palms off.
Oh, was that there's an episode where Ken starts his line and he's like,
He's doing something with his
what
fingers.
does he say? I control your
Um,
lives? He does. He
I
goes,
control your
Ken
lives.
likes to do funny voices sometimes.
And with his tongue, and
he
he'll
was
go,
like coming out, and he like Su Chang tongue, and he was like, I control your lives, which we all thought sounded like the guy that goes, how bizarre.
How bizarre.
Dun,
Dun, dun. So that'll like lead to
OMC.
a dance
Do
That
people
was
still
lived
come
on
up to you all the
for
time
years.
and say, cool, or you kind of like,
all the time.
yeah?
Yep.
We all say it
We-
all the time
yeah.
on
Yeah.
set.
It's
I
very.
think.
It becomes, it's like we do speak in some code because,
Yeah.
when you're surrounded by each other for, a long time.
Yeah.
Looks like we're starting to wrap up, so let's go kind of lightning round. Let's talk about the rest of the season. So first off, Abed, we've got Co-Check Girl, and
Yep.
we're going to see more of that. Talk about that
Brie
relationship.
Larson's coming back. She's
Yeah.
awesome. Very excited about that. We have
Check girl.
a really fun episode where we get to play a 80s VCR interactive game.
Like a video game.
It's like a video game from the 80s that was discovered. So I'm really excited about that episode.
Yeah. By the way, the Dean, I've seen this episode, fantastic, and the Dean gets to
yeah.
do some really fun
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
at the
Oh,
start.
fun.
Oh, that's
I
he
won't
does
give away,
something
but
in the
you-
beginning, the cold open.
Yeah,
that
cold
is-
open you have to watch.
And then
Not
I
only for
think-
the costume, but for the actual performance.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
That was
Well-
a traumatic day.
That was
It was.
hardcore.
You'll understand when you see it.
Yeah.
Just imagine
Just
seeing
wait.
that a lot.
Yeah. We loved it, and then we have us three have a great towards the finale.
Mhm.
Like,
Yes.
we have a
The finale.
It's the
There's
finale,
two-part
yeah,
finale.
Finale, and then
The
we
three of
sort
us kind of
get
team up.
paired and sort of driving sort of
Driving
the
the
reason for the
adventure.
story.
So if
Yeah.
your energy is on a scale of 1 to 10, our energy is like a 400,
400.
in this episode combined.
Very high energy.
So-
Yeah, if you ever want to see us scream,
Bouncing off the
Then
walls.
you're
Now
gonna
I feel
wanna
like
see
we're
it.
gonna watch the
Well-
episode, and the cut they're gonna use is the one time that we were like, "Hey guys,
Yeah, hey guys.
the one
Cuckoo.
It'll
we're
be the
going on an
as opposed to
adventure."
the what.
But yeah, I know.
Hey.
it did feel like that. It felt like we had exhausted ourselves on one take, and then we got the note like,
Amp it up. I know.
More.
It's,
And so we would be hopping up and down, screaming before action.
Jumping, literally jumping off the wall.
Is there a cliffhanger on the finale, or can you
it's
give?
like we're going back
I'm like,
to the...
I know. I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
No.
I don't think so.
There's not.
No, it
We always like to wrap it up just in
Yeah.
case.
Yeah.
Just in case. Speaking of wrapping it up, one of our questioners, I can't find their name now, they want to know, so when, Alison, will we see you rapping on camera?
You know, I get requests constantly,
Mhm.
but I
Yes, you do.
Actually,
Kelly
no, but
N
just
wanted to know
downstairs.
this, by the way.
Kelly N.
Wants some freestyle rap.
Kelly N.
Mhm.
Someone here today just asked me that same question. I don't think it's gonna happen, and it maybe should not happen. I think
Yeah.
that's something that should live on the DVD extras.
Mhm.
Or
I think
live
if
on
I-
the Google Hangout?
Nope.
What? Okay, that's for the DVD extra of the Google
Yeah,
Hangouts. That's for
So
the,
shut this off, and then I'm gonna just go for
that's
it.
the after show of the after show. Let's see. Any other questions we haven't hit yet? Here's Dennis L. What advice do you wish you had received in your teenage years? That's very specific, Dennis L. I think Dennis L's got some issues.
Brush your hair less. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That's how it happens. I just try to think of-
All these
I tell my
kids are
teenage
like
self, calm down.
pulling their combs away from their hair right now.
Calm
Well, guys, final message for the
down.
fans.
We're gonna leave on that.
We're going to leave on that guy. So, rest
You're
of the
welcome.
season, Thursday nights, 8, 7 Central, NBC. Community. Thanks, guys.